I want to let him out, but I just can't trust him right now. Not talking about JOS, by the way, in case anybody's...
Yeah, somebody comes in.
What? I want to let him out. I just can't trust him. We're talking about Freddie. Freddie the cat. He had an accident. But I don't think it was an accident. It's total retaliation.
Freddie, no. I feel like with the light right here, I feel old, bro. What the? Look at my cheek right now.
It's really highlighting your wrinkles.
Yeah,
you
dude.
look older than I do.
I do. Wait,
Okay.
you make this face. Go ahead. No, squint your cheeks more. The other cheeks.
I can't. They don't wrinkle.
Dude, I'm going to look terrible as an old
no
person.
Wrinkles.
Oh, my gosh. Ew.
Elvis wants to make sure he gets some attention here, too. You're going to be a good boy during the podcast. We normally don't let you in here.
Okay. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm going to put this over here. Yeah, we're going to do that.
Elvis is trying to decide whether he's going to stay in here or whether he's going to go. He's probably just going to make a lot of noise first.
Yeah, he's just going to breathe heavily near the most sensitive mic in the room.
It's just blocking. There, you can sit in that chair. Climb on up there.
Oh, we didn't talk about like how in depth you're going.
I
don't mention anything right now because we are live, but like
I don't actually know. We'll just play it by ear.
okay.
Elvis is working so hard to try to get my attention.
Yeah, what? Why? Why as soon as we go live?
Like, it's like he knows we're live because he was not doing this at all before. I tried to turn my back to him a little bit.
I think that just makes him want your attention more. Hey. 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 Hey.
He got a bath on Saturday.
That's good.
Did you get a bath? He didn't like it very much. He was pretty upset about it. I mean, he sat there and he took it, but he was shaking the whole time. He was a little stressed. And then he went and got his feet muddy right afterwards.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dogs are the worst.
No, they're not. People are the worst.
All right, you ready to go live?
Mm-hmm.
Or, I mean, start recording?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
No, lay down. Stop being needy. Sorry.
It's all good. I was just watching the levels.
Should we test our levels?
Nah, I just
You
did.
think they're good?
I just did.
Okay.
I do wish that this was turned over. I thought I already did that. Okay.
Shall we begin?
Okay.
Shall we begin?
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm.
It's time. Did you just say it's time?
Stay calm.
What is going on? What is going on out here? What is going on? I didn't...
For me to know and you to find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, episode 213.
213.
213. Cold is in the chat on Twitch. He says good morning, good evening. It's evening here, morning where he's at.
Like
6
middle
hours.
of the night morning.
Yeah, 6 hours ahead. Is that right?
Sure.
Is that what the UK is?
I don't actually know.
6 hours ahead, which would put them about 2 a.m. That's not terrible. You know? It's not terrible. Not the end of the world. Anyway. Big things being revealed tonight. Yeah, 2. Okay, I was right. Cool.
Well, almost 3. 240.
245. 244. Whatever.
This podcast will be a little bit different than most our podcasts, but not unusual for one of our podcasts. This is one of those life update podcasts.
Right, the juicy ones. Juicy juice. And it's never my juice for the most part. It's mostly your...
I mean...
We should use a different word.
Yeah. There was a while there where it was all about Nathan for a little bit and what Nathan was going through. But now it's all about Rebecca and what Rebecca's going through.
Yeah. Yeah, I had my year. Now this is your year.
This is my year. I'm so honored.
It's actually been your 2 years.
Yeah, but the last year in particular has been especially sucky. Yeah. And we haven't hidden that. I mean, we've been vague about how sucky this last year has been, but it's been one of the worst years of my life. I would
Really?
say. Yes.
Wow.
There's been so much that's happened that's not good in the last year that I some of those things that I thought were absolutely horrible got covered up by other things that were more horrible. Like, I don't even remember all of the things that I thought were really bad because other things got worse.
Yeah. I mean, puts things into perspective, but not really in a great way.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's good for you, I guess.
But this year is coming up roses. I mean, it lots of opportunities for positive change. And that is just the phrase that I'm saying over and over and over. And don't say that because I'm saying that it's not going to be that, because no, it's changed my perspective and things that I could just be throwing an absolute tantrum about. And I'm like, no, these are opportunities for positive change. So I'm not going to be super negative about it.
I mean, my first response in any situation is just pessimism for the most part, but not always. I'm sometimes optimistic.
No, when I'm really, really pessimistic, you're optimistic.
That's what it is.
And when I'm optimistic, you're like, well, let's even this out here.
I wonder what that is. Surely that's something, right?
You're trying to create stable ground, trying to find a balance.
Do I just have to disagree? Is that my thing?
Maybe that's it.
Maybe that's my thing. Ugh, gross. What a terrible thing to have.
So I'm just going to jump right into it and first let you know that I'm moving.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I'm moving.
When were you going to tell me?
When you show up next week and I'm not here. No, I'm kidding. I'm not moving next week. I'm actually not moving for a couple more weeks. But here's the dealio, yo.
Yeah, oh, a lot of yos there.
I think that's from Zoolander.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
We sold our house this weekend.
Really?
Put it on the market on Friday, and it sold Saturday. Friday night, we already had an offer.
That's a pretty quick turnaround, I feel like, for an entire house.
For an entire house, as opposed to a partial house.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so the market is what it is. That houses sell fast, but mine sold as expected within 24 hours. Hey, Webb, welcome to the party. If you missed it, I'm moving. So put the house on the market Friday, sold by Saturday night, 10 offers. At first, we had 9 offers.
Okay.
And then when my agent was trying to work up a spreadsheet of a comparison sheet for everything for us to look through, somebody else called and said, sight unseen, I'll take the house this much.
Wow, the 10th offer.
And yeah, that was the 10th offer, and it wasn't good enough, so we didn't go with that one.
Sight unseen, there's a level of desperation there, I feel like.
We had, I believe it was 3 offers of sight unseen, and the offer we accepted, the people have not actually walked through this house. They are in Germany right now.
Oh.
We live in a military community, so the chances of military people buying our house is pretty high.
Yeah.
I believe there was only 3 of the offers that were not military. So was that 75% were military? Not great at math, but I think
there's 3 that wasn't.
3 that were not military.
That's more than 75
out of 10.
Yeah, out of 10. That's like a third, which would be
again, not great at math. Also, it doesn't matter. 3 out of 10 if we're not
more
military.
than 75 or less.
So the offer we accepted, the people live in Germany, and we had a virtual walkthrough. So they got to like go online and do a virtual walkthrough. Also, their real estate agent actually came here and went through the house. So anyway, congratulations to whoever you are in Germany that bought my house. It's a wonderful house. I bet you will love it. I've loved this house. This is, I think, my favorite house I've ever lived in.
This is my favorite house that you've ever lived into.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful house.
Yeah.
I love this house.
The layout is super cool. I'm not trying to sell my house. It's already sold, but it's super cool. And when I moved here, I bought furniture specifically to fit this house. And so like my furniture is placed very well in the home to fit it exactly right.
Yeah, you definitely, I mean, whenever you picked furniture to stay, which I suppose anybody would.
Uh-huh.
So kind of funny now, 2 years later.
But the furniture is going, except for the furniture that I've sold. So Richard, shout out to Richard, texted today and was like, why are you selling all your furniture? What's going on? We're downsizing significantly. So the Crockett's are moving into an apartment.
What?
Which initially, like, apartments weren't on my list at all. But it makes sense that at this stage in our life that not stage in our life, but the situation that we're in right now, that we move into an apartment. It's a conservative decision to downsize and move into an apartment right now.
Well, and houses in California are so much more expensive.
I'm not moving to
than
California.
apartments.
Nathan, do not freak everybody out. I'm just going to just put it out there. We're moving.
Web asked where you're moving. Web asked where you're moving. Web, I'll tell you right now, it's nowhere close. I'll tell you right now, the podcast is donezo. Unless Rebecca's going to pay for my
Stop
plane
muting
tickets.
my mic. We are going back to Olathe, where we lived before. We're literally going back to
Olathe, Canada.
No, Olathe, Kansas. We're moving like a block away from the house that we lived in before we moved to Lansing. Like, we're not moving far away. So here's a little background information. Back in October, we had said my daughter had a critical medical emergency. Where are you going?
You chill.
Okay.
Tell your story.
We had said my daughter had a critical medical emergency. We didn't explain in depth what that was. I don't even think I'm going to explain in depth what it is now. But she requires ongoing medical care. Her medical care, she has to go to 2 different places. One is in Olathe and one is in Overland Park. And when you live in Lansing, that's quite a ways to drive. When she was having to see them every week, and now we've changed to biweekly. So every other week she has to go to the doctor, and that is quite a jaunt.
Take it from somebody who makes that drive weekly, used to be bi-weekly. That's quite the drive. Or jaunt, as they say.
Nathan lives in Olathe, and so he's excited that I'm moving back that direction, because
we're going to be neighbors.
He wants free food.
She's moving across the street from me.
Whenever he wants free food.
Same apartment complex.
I'm not moving into the same apartment complex.
You wish you were.
But it's cool that we...
Actually, you really don't.
wish you were moving into the same apartment complex I am moving to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so my daughter's medical care is there. Life 88 is in Overland Park. That's really close. And then my job at KMBZ, it's a lot closer to that as well. So that helps. Jay West did resign from his pastor position at Lansing, but he won't be done until the end of April. So he's going to kind of transition slowly out, like over the next month, to help them transition to like another team. I don't even know how to explain that. I may have explained that completely wrong, but anyway, he'll still be at the church for another month, and then he's going to step away. He does not have another job to go to. And that is not by design, because I think if he got offered another position and he felt like that's what he was supposed to take, he would. But anyway, he does not have another position, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, because his dad is very, very ill right now. And he's actually with his dad in Omaha on Sunday. He really had a bad episode that was really concerning. So Jay West had, after he announced his resignation from the church and we accepted the offer on the house, he drove up to be with his dad. So he's still there with his parents right now, helping them with things that they need there. Okay. So by him stepping away from this position and not having another job right away, it will give him more time to be with his dad.
You haven't taken a breath in about 10 minutes. I just need you to inhale for a moment. Just inhale. You're not inhaling.
I'm breathing while you're talking. You want me to like audibly inhale?
Yes. Perfect. Now audibly exhale. Not into the mic, you clown. Oh, you sicken me. I'm just concerned for your health. I feel like you're about to start hyperventilating or something
says,
over
hey,
here.
it's Elvis in the background.
Oh, yeah.
He decided he wanted to be a part of this podcast tonight and is not leaving.
Now I petted him. Now he's not going to leave me alone for the next hour. As long as he doesn't bark.
He is breathing in the mic, though.
Yeah. Why did you get a dog that breathes so heavily? You could have got like a friggin'...
I didn't test it out first. Also, don't all dogs breathe heavily?
Not like the wiener dogs.
I wanted a big dog, though.
You could have gotten a big wiener dog or something that doesn't breathe so heavily. I don't know, man. So anyway, the thing about this apartment that the Crockers are moving into, it's a no animal apartment.
No,
so they had two choices to either sell the animals with the house
Nathan is not telling the truth.
Leave them on the side of the road somewhere. So if you guys are in the Lansing/Olathe area, and I know that's a big area to cover, but there could be a dog and a cat somewhere along the road.
So
along that area, free.
Not true.
Free of charge.
One of the really exciting things about this apartment was like they leaded with that they're an animal friendly environment. It's a brand new apartment building that only a handful of people live in right now. Like they just started moving people in. There's a doggy spa, so I can wash Elvis at the doggy spa. That's a huge plus.
Bro, my apartment doesn't even have
point.
a human spa. Webb says I'll take them both, and Jay West too.
The other thing that I really like about the apartment is they have valet trash service. So every evening somebody comes by and picks up your trash out in the hallway for you.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Bro, I think my neighbors think we have that at my apartment. They will stack trash bags outside their door. And like, I get it, okay? I hate taking the trash. I hate making the walk. We're like one of the furthest apartments from a dumpster. But like, come on. There's how do you have so much trash?
They're just hoping that you'll get tired of it.
I almost have. I'm not kidding.
It.
Whenever it's there and I'm taking out my trash.
Pick up the trash and go.
Ugh, I've thought about it, bro.
Anyway, so we're moving into an apartment and we're excited about it. Your leg is sitting on the power button. And
oh my gosh, you are
like
so
super
right.
nervous.
Wow, I was getting so relaxed and I set my leg right on the power button of the computer. That would have been awful. Look at you looking out.
I know. That's because I almost did it the other day. So one thing that the apartment doesn't have is a studio, an extra room to stream in. So that's a thing.
Yeah. Do we have to talk about this?
We don't have to. We can just completely move on and pretend that that's not an issue.
So I mean, that's pretty much it, right? Is that this apartment doesn't have a studio nor room for a studio. Mm-hmm. Rebecca will not be working from home anymore.
No, guys, I'm going back to the station. I think that's the scariest part of all of this for me.
For me personally, I am concerned about you having to go back to work.
Because you've seen me really embrace the work from home life.
Well, yeah, I know that this is where you thrive and everything. And I know how much you hate going to the office.
Yeah.
But
I used to not.
Yeah.
I just really like working from home. But Nathan, I'm going to be 100% honest with you and say, even though I love working from home, I don't think it's the healthiest thing for me.
Really?
Because I think I've developed some social anxiety by just being home all the time. I think it's really like taken a toll on my willingness to be out and socialize.
Like at all, or do you mean specifically going out with the intention of socializing? Like, do you have? Is it like going to the mall or just going to a friend's house?
No, specifically having to interact with people. If I
Okay.
go to the mall, I don't really have to interact with anybody except for somebody at the register, and
Right.
that's fine. I can do that. And I think what's so scary about work is I'm working with different equipment, and the equipment sucks. And here, the equipment's been really nice.
Yeah. Oh, and Boyd, how's it going? Decided to jump on the YouTube instead of Twitch. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool.
Cold, by the way.
Interesting. Yeah, that's it. Your boy Cold. His name is Owen. Fun fact.
That is a fun fact.
He watches me play video games on
Because
occasion.
I thought he was saying it was cold outside.
No. Well, it probably is in the UK.
Yeah.
You know?
Also cold here.
It's dummy cold here. I hate the weather here.
We're supposed to have a snowstorm Wednesday night into Friday.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe 3 inches of snow, and then 75 next week.
It was 75 last week.
I know.
Dude, I
It's
hate
beautiful out.
Kansas, man. Let me give you a word of advice, Rebecca. While you're moving your house, move states. Go south somewhere.
You really want me to move south?
Yeah.
Because
I want you to be
when-
happy.
Yeah, you didn't like the idea of me possibly moving out of state. When I like briefly mentioned like, well, maybe we have to move out of state, and you're like, what? Well, let me know where so I can move too.
I mean, I did also say that, I think. Yeah. I thought I was the only one since I've spent so long indoors. Going out and meeting people is a lot harder now than it used to be. I do not have that problem.
Oh my gosh, Owen, I'm so glad that you said that, because I feel like I'm the only one who's like has that issue, like major anxiety. And on Friday, oh my gosh, guys, Friday
Oh my gosh.
was a very, very crazy day. It was the day my house listed on the market, like 8:00 in the morning. It went live, and the showings started piling up. We ended up having 20 showings. And so Friday, I'm working from home, but we can't be at home when the house is showing.
Right.
So I block out a time frame when I have to anchor live on air. Obviously, I have to be here to do that. So I block out that time frame between 3 and 6. So I'm like, no, that'll be okay. That'll give me plenty of time. I'll be good. But I leave the house in the morning around 10:30, thinking I'm only going to be gone for an hour during this showing. I'm in my Jeep with my daughter Grace, who's 17, and my dog Elvis, who you saw behind me in the video if you're watching this. And I get a call that there's been a school shooting. That's a really, really bad thing. If you don't know, school shootings are a bad thing.
Is it? No, I was homeschooled, so I have no idea.
It also, when you're working in the news industry, means all hands on deck.
Mm-hmm.
Like that means everybody is about to play a role, whether it's your shift or not. And so I get a message that I need to head to the scene immediately. I have a daughter and my dog with me. I'm also wearing yoga pants and a Worlds of Fun sweatshirt. For those of you unfamiliar with Worlds of Fun, it's our theme park here in Kansas City. And my hair's pulled up in a ponytail, and I'm not wearing any makeup.
So you're basically living every news reporter's dream because you get to go to work, be on scene, and wear what you want.
I looked more like a mom than I've ever looked like a mom before.
Debatable.
I was 100% momming at that moment.
I bet you looked pretty
Just leave it at pretty. I bet you looked pretty.
I bet
I
you
did
looked
look
like
pretty.
a mom.
I bet I
whenever-
looked so pretty.
when you were pregnant with your kids. I bet.
Okay, I did
whenever
look
people
more
saw
mom when I
you
was pregnant, yes.
dressed in your Worlds of Fun hoodie and your yoga pants, I bet less people thought that's a mom than they did whenever you were 8 months pregnant.
Okay. So anyway, I get called to the scene. I have to meet up with my husband somewhere to hand off my daughter and my dog.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to the scene, normally I have something that identifies the station I'm working for.
Mm-hmm.
I also am dressed fairly decently. I makeup, hair done. And then I have an ID badge that says it's my media pass.
Right.
I had none of that. I also didn't have my phone charger, which I have to use my phone for a mic. And I had no paper and pen or anything to take notes on. Like, I was driving to the scene as unprepared as I have ever been for any news report I've ever done. So, because I can't go back to the house, did I mention that? The showings packed up to 3:00 where I could not come home. Owen, makeup is overrated and I don't see the need for it. I would probably get hate for it, but your true self, don't hide the natural beauty. Thank you. In the news industry, though, they do encourage us to wear makeup as much as I'd like to have the natural look be more popular right now. But anyway, I go to the scene as is, and I walk up to like the media staging area, and the police are all standing there, and they have just done a press conference, and I'm late. I'm really late for it, but I'm walking up to get the latest information so that I can relay it back to the station. And I'm going to tell you, I was a little emotional driving to the scene because I knew parents were getting ready to reunite with their children, and they were scared to death something bad happened to their children. They also know that their kids were traumatized by whatever happened. And I'm thinking, as a parent, of how emotional I would be reuniting with my child after they were involved in a school shooting. And I was like crying, like tears running down my face.
Oh, great. So now your mascara is running.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, you didn't have makeup on.
No, but like you could tell I'd been crying.
Gross, dude. You probably look so gross.
So I walk up to the police officer and he goes, I'm sorry, are you media or are you looking for a place to pick up your child?
Well, it depends. Are they giving them out?
I looked so much like a mom and not a journalist in that moment that the police questioned whether I was in the right place.
Okay, ma'am, you do know this is the media side of things. Sorry, I'm going to have to tell you to go to the other side of the building.
Okay, so he let me by, even though I had no identification on me or anything. And then I quickly realized to have a story to go live on air with, I needed to go to where the parents were reuniting.
Uh-huh.
I was already crying on the way there. Imagine how I was when I was in the midst of the crowd of parents anxiously waiting to reunite with their children, and the parents are crying. I was a mess. So I'm talking to parents. They're giving me like these sound bites that are like real emotional. So I'm live on air and I'm sitting on the phone. Okay, here's how this works. When I'm getting ready to go live on the radio, I call into our board and they just kind of put me on hold and I wait there. And I wait until the reporter that's anchoring says, you know, we've got Rebecca Crockett here on the scene. That's my time to shine. That's my time to start talking. So the entire time up until that moment, I'm like, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. Like, think happy thoughts. You know, you can do this. You are a professional. You can give them the information. You can tell them what you see without crying. Actually, I couldn't because every single time I was on air, I would start out real strong. I would explain the scene. I would explain what's going on. And then as soon as I was like, I talked to one parent and they said this, then immediately I'd be like, my voice would get all quivery. And I was like, I apologize. The scene here is very emotional. That was like my go-to statement every single time.
The scene here is very
Nobody
emotional.
else on staff said anything about me crying on air during that whole news segment. But when I got back, Sam said, I'm sure that was really emotional when you were there. And then that was it. That's all that was said that entire time about me crying during the newscast. Anyway, I left the scene after I got everything that I needed, came rushing back to my house. I couldn't even drive into the station to anchor because I didn't have my ID to get in. I didn't have my headphones. which we've discussed. Headphones are very important.
Incredibly
and
so.
I just didn't feel like I could even function without them. Anyway, I got home, and the people were supposed to be out of my house at 3:00 because I needed to get on air right away.
Mhm.
And when I drove up, they were still here. And I was like, you know what? This is just how it's going to be. And I opened the garage door, came running into my studio and just locked the door and sat down and started working because like I couldn't wait another second. Like I had to jump in and start working. I finished anchoring my shift and then we had to be out of the house the rest of the night for more showings. Got up bright and early the next morning, out of the house. And I worked at Life 88 Saturday night, so I didn't get home until 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
That was, yeah. And then the house sold and everything went crazy on Sunday. My husband had to drive to Omaha to be with his dad. Okay, now that's out of order. We accepted the offer on the house. He resigned from the church. And then he had to drive to Omaha to be with his dad and got caught in a snowstorm on the way there.
I feel like you and JOS have probably gained more years in the last 2 years than you have in the last 20.
I've literally been like checking my hair for like gray hair. I'm like, am I getting gray? Like, is my hair starting to get gray? Because I feel like I've experienced a lot of stress.
I didn't want to point
lately.
it out, but there's some in the back. You can't really see it. Don't, you know what? Forget I said anything. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Your hair looks fine.
Anyway, we were talking about like me moving and whether we're going to do the podcast and stuff because I don't have a studio. And I went into that whole story about the school shooting on Friday. But it was a big deal.
Yeah, no,
it
it's
was
a huge
horrible.
deal.
And then Sunday night, I still had to write up the stories about the shooting with all the audio I had collected from the scene. I cried again when I was listening to parent audio. It was horrible.
Webb says it sounds like you need a journalist go bag, and honestly, I'm a little surprised you don't have one already.
Yeah, I do, and it's in my closet upstairs.
Why is it in your closet?
Because I didn't want to leave it in my Jeep because I haven't been going anywhere ever.
Oh my god, that defeats the purpose.
I haven't left. I used to always have it in my Jeep, and I used to always have like a pair of heels in case I needed to go to like someplace nice. Like I had everything in the Jeep ready to go, but now I don't go anywhere ever. And so I'm like, there's no need to be prepared. Also, Friday was a Friday. Nothing big happens on Fridays. The chances of something happening on Fridays are so rare. Like Fridays are just the easy. You just do your normal stuff. You get done as soon as you can. It's Friday. Everybody's trying to get out early. I did not expect it to become a massive news day.
You know what you need beside your front door one of those fire extinguisher boxes, but you need to put your media go bag in it.
What's a fire extinguisher box? Oh, like the red metal box with the glass on the front?
Yeah, that
And you
fire
have to break
extinguisher's going. That says, in case of emergency. You just needed to say,
and then you break the glass. And
in
you
case
got
of news, break glass.
Yeah, it still wouldn't have worked because I couldn't get it in my house to get it.
Well, I'm just saying, for future. And then you would also keep one in your car.
Well, now I'm going to live in an apartment, so I'll have to put it in the apartment.
So?
I sold a bunch of furniture, and apparently everybody knows that because it was on Facebook.
Yeah, so whenever you put stuff on Facebook Marketplace, apparently Rebecca didn't know this, but whenever you post stuff on Facebook Marketplace, it instantly posts it on your timeline as if you posted a picture or as if you posted a status. And so then it goes on everybody else's timeline. So everybody on Rebecca's friends list now knows, whether she wanted it or not, that they are at the very least selling 75% of their furniture.
We're not selling 75% of our furniture.
There's a lot of furniture that you have on Marketplace right now.
I just sold the furniture in my family room and these lovely orange chairs that are in the studio.
Which I cannot believe you got $200 out of.
They are vintage, mid-century modern, and they're
ugly.
in decent condition.
They're ugly and not the most comfortable thing.
So many people love these chairs, and I could not believe how many people messaged me about them, and they sold like within minutes.
Quite frankly, I can't believe you sold them at all because those have Vent Lab history on them
Yeah, but where am I going to put them, Nathan?
in your apartment.
No, I don't have space. Like,
Oh, not with that attitude.
I've had to tell my family with this transition into apartment living, less is more. Like,
You should have given them to me. I'll put them on the balcony.
no, I would not let them risk being weathered.
My
like
neighbors
that.
would be so jealous, bro.
Uh-huh.
Me and Grant spent a solid like 20, 30 minutes whenever we first moved in looking at everybody else's balconies and seeing their chairs. And then we judged their quality of life based on their chairs.
I picked out some chairs. I put them in my Amazon cart for my deck.
You're going to show me a picture of chairs on this audio podcast?
Uh-huh.
Oh, this is going to be wonderful.
Uh-huh.
And this will be great.
No, you can judge me.
You can't even find the app. You've scrolled through your pages
I
8
just
times.
found the app. I have a problem with finding the app. Okay.
You need a new phone. That phone is slow.
Tell me what your judgment is of me based on my chairs.
Based on those chairs, let me see them again.
They're wicker, high back,
Based on those
patio chairs
I would know for a fact you were
with
over
the
30.
white cushions.
I would know for a fact you were over 30. And I would say they don't smoke, but they certainly do like sitting out on their balcony with a drink in their hand. A beverage of any sort, okay?
Mm-hmm. Because I don't drink alcohol.
Right.
Those are cool.
I would say
Those are cool chairs, though,
I would say
right?
they like going to the pool.
Look at how cool these chairs are.
Based on those chairs, I would say, yeah, they like going to the pool. Also, they're white. White people live there.
Yes. Okay. Do we want to go back to talking about the fact that we don't have
A studio?
an extra room in the apartment?
Yeah,
The
so
studio.
we kind of touched on that and then immediately dove into other stuff. So here's the thing for anybody who doesn't know, the studio for the last 2 years has been in Rebecca's house.
But before that, it was in a radio station in Lenexa that no longer exists.
Right. So I left, and whenever I did, I took the whole station down with me, the whole building down with me, in fact. No, not at all. In fact, I left because the building was crumbling and
And
everybody
it had
had to
nothing to do with you.
leave. Yeah, everybody had to leave actually, but hey, I got a way out. So anyway, with Rebecca moving and not having somewhere to put all of this studio equipment, that leaves us without a vent lab.
Studio.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we are kind of in a TBD moment right now because there's things we could do.
To be determined. Let me translate. If
Everybody
you don't-
knows what TBD means.
Just in case.
No, it
Just
means
in
to be
case-
determined.
No, just in case they don't. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Okay.
So we basically, long story short, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with the podcast. That we could put it on pause. We could put it on the shelf and retire it. We could maybe record in my apartment, but we'd have to change the time because my roommate goes to bed at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And Rebecca isn't done with work by
Yeah,
that.
and now that I'm going back into the studio, I'm going to be working later again.
Yeah. Pepperoni, you did a podcast from Colorado, didn't you? Yes.
Mhm.
Yes,
We
we
did.
did do a podcast in Colorado. Our worst podcast to date, by the way. The audio
That's just because
was terrible.
we were talking in both sides of the microphone and didn't realize there was only one side of the microphone.
I thought it was omnidirectional, and it is not. But I have learned.
But that's a very good point because I have considered that we could change our setup a little bit and do table mics and just take the Rodecaster down to the conference room in my apartment
Right.
and we could record in there. We couldn't live stream, but we could still record the podcast.
We'd have to get a laptop.
I have a laptop.
We'd have to get a good laptop because your laptop is doo-doo.
Yeah, but we could also record in this Rodecaster because it has an SD card and we
Oh,
could
that's
save it.
true.
Yeah.
It's scary.
And then you could just take the SD card home and edit it at home.
That's true. That's scary, but true. We might be able to do that. That would also, the things that would come with that is whatever else is going on in the conference room. Is it a single room?
Okay, so another cool feature about my
Oh my
apartment.
gosh, she's so excited to
Um,
share about this dang apartment.
everything has high speed internet, and it has like work from home stations. So it has several rooms and different like settings, like you can work at a table. They have different chair arrangements and stuff. And then they have a private room with table and cool chairs where you can record. It's all glass though on the walls. So that's not great for sound, but it is carpeted and the chairs are upholstered. So that helps.
Mm-hmm.
And the table it's a really cool wooden table with a raw edge.
What? Okay, that
gonna
means
show you a
no.
picture
Don't
of it.
show me a picture, Rebecca. This is a podcast.
It's so cool.
We're on episode 213,
Anyway,
and you're still showing me
they
pictures
said
during the podcast.
right now they're not having anybody reserve it because nobody's using it because
Okay.
there's only like 5 families that live in this entire building.
What the heck?
They just opened it, like they literally just opened. They're not even done building. Anyway, but they said eventually if it starts to get full, they'll reserve spots.
Gotcha.
You can keep talking. I'm going to find the picture to show you because this raw edge table is so cool.
I'm pretty sure
like-
I'm not gonna care.
I'm pretty sure that whoever decorated this place has the same taste as me.
Is that it? That just looks like a table. They didn't even leave. I've seen better stuff than that. It would look cool if they left the
I've
bark on it
seen-
truly raw.
Okay. I've seen better stuff, but that's cool.
I mean, it's neat.
That's really, really cool.
That might be too thick to mount the mics on. I don't know.
No. So like I just said, we'd have to have a little bit of a different setup, and we'd have to do table mics instead of the arms.
Gotcha.
But we
gotcha.
don't need to discuss all these details on the podcast.
Right. Right.
Uh
Another thing that we could do
huh.
is Discord, and I could do all of the recording from my apartment,
Uh huh.
and you would just have to get on the Discord call.
Oh, so like where we don't see each other, we're in 2 separate locations. And
Yes.
we record the podcast.
Yes.
We've done that before. We
Mhm.
did that through the pandemic when
Right.
people weren't allowed to leave their houses.
The audio quality isn't as good, and the overall, I think, show quality is as good because we can't see each other. But Ben said what the table and chairs look like don't matter for a podcast.
They
Ben,
matter to
I
me,
have
Ben.
been working with this
They
lady
matter to me.
for the last 5 years, and I've been trying to convince her of that. She's not going to get it now.
Rebecca can still record her audio separate, then send it to you.
That's also true. That would just require editing as well, which editing is fine. Editing is super fast. I'm
there's
efficient.
options. There's options. So like we said in the beginning, it's to be determined.
Right.
Because we have to figure that out, and things have been too complicated for us to sit down and actually, like, this is literally our first time talking through what the options may be, because
true.
it has really, really been insane.
This is the most you and I have talked about anything in the past like 2 weeks because your life has been so hectic.
It has been. We did not do the podcast last week because I was preparing my house to list. So photographers were coming to the house the next day, and I had to finish staging the house, and my daughter's room was the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. And Nathan left when we started washing walls.
Hold on. That makes it sound terrible.
No, Nathan
First
put in a
off,
really good,
okay.
strong effort. He did not need to come to my house that night. He could have stayed home and gamed. But no, he came and he washed windows and blinds. That's a really sucky job, and he did it, and I really appreciated it. And then
Tell you what,
he
my arm
went-
was sore the next day.
was it?
Yeah, it actually
He
was.
went above and beyond that and decided to help wash walls in my daughter's room. It was a bit overwhelming. I was jealous when you left that you got to leave. It was bad.
Yeah, it was. I like.
Here's what she did. She covered her walls in records and posters and randomness, but she used like little foam sticky stuff to stick everything on the walls.
Yeah, not like command strips, like
No,
foam
they-
sticky things.
And like it ripped off some of the drywall. Also, okay, I gave her a basket to start collecting all the stuff on her walls. She's been burning incense in her room for like the last 2 years. and her walls were covered in soot.
Yeah, it looked like she had been smoking in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I didn't know her better and I didn't know you guys better, and also if it didn't smell bad, or if it did smell bad.
It smelled like her incense.
Right. Yeah, I would have been like, oh, so you've been smoking ciggies in here.
Uh-huh.
But no, it was just the incense. But that's how bad the walls
left like an outline. Like when you are watching a movie and they go to like a drug dealer's house and their walls look like all gross. Yeah, that's what.
Why don't you show them a picture of it, Rebecca?
I don't have a picture. I only have the after picture of when we cleaned it.
Oh, okay.
Jay West and I went to bed at 2 a.m. that night after getting her room cleaned and done. I mean, she helped, but it was an undertaking.
Yeah. And I did want to help more. Okay. But I had to go home and work.
You did.
I did. That's why I left
You were
whenever
also
I did.
really excited to leave when you did. You know, you were like skipping out of here.
That's
like
not true.
You had to say to yourself, I'm so glad I get to walk away from that situation.
It was to the point where I was kind of just walking around like not really knowing what to do.
Same.
And so I was like, well, I do want to be here and I want to help, but right now I'm not doing anything and I have to be home before midnight so that I can actually do my actual job. And I did make it home in time.
Yeah, and you were a huge help. I would not have gotten all that stuff done without you.
Well, I'm glad I could be
Thanks
there.
for being there.
Yeah. And now everybody knows how good of a friend I am.
Yes.
Which was really the whole point of this podcast in general.
You're still trying to make up for oversleeping and not being there
you
when I moved.
You don't have to bring that up. You don't have to bring
guess
that
what,
up.
Nathan? You have another opportunity to help me move. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's pretty much the only reason why I've been helping you as much as I have.
Just to make up for
It's just the
for
guilt.
oversleeping.
It's just the guilt that weighs over me, you know? Yeah.
So let me reiterate.
Reiterate.
Let me just reiterate. We're moving to be closer to my daughter's medical care, and my husband is walking away from his position as senior pastor at the church.
Walking away sounds bad. You should say resigning.
Resigning.
I mean, it's the same thing
he's
technically,
transitioning
but
out because
that's a good one.
Because he's taking time, like, to help them make sure they have somebody else in place before he leaves. He's not like in a hurry to leave,
Right.
but he's not going to be able to fulfill all his responsibilities because he needs to focus on our daughter and her medical care. When I say our daughter, I mean Jay West and I's daughter, not Nathan.
Ooh, passing
and
the
I's
torch.
daughter.
That's another good one from the chat.
Okay, passing the torch. Yes, he's taking the next month to pass the torch to somebody else.
Right. He's just looking for somebody to pass the torch to.
So he can assist with my daughter's medical care more and be there with his dad right now, which is the most immediate need at the moment.
Yeah. And Rebecca, I don't want to like one up you or anything.
This is my entire friendship with Nathan. Him just like constantly one-upping me.
Not just your friendship with me, everybody's friendship with me. Let's be clear. But I also sold something on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, let me clear up here what he's comparing. Because I sold my house for significantly more than the asking price, this is what he's comparing.
I also sold something for more than I got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So many of you know, back whenever I moved into my apartment, it was a long time ago, but if you think back, it was in June or July.
This is also Nathan trying to take time during the podcast
of 2021
to be able to share a story of his own.
This has been 45 minutes of you,
and you're going to take as long to tell the story as you possibly can. Now you've upset Elvis.
So let me restart.
He's concerned.
Many of you know that back in 2021, I moved into an apartment. I moved away from my parents. I transitioned out of my parents' house.
Passed the torch.
I passed the torch. That is my bed from one room to another. And took on an incredible amount of responsibility. And one of those responsibilities was furnishing my apartment. So I did the smart financial thing, and I looked on a website, EquipBid, which is just an online auction where they sell things for dummy cheap. And I got some bar stools, I got some counter stools, and I got a little rubber monkey that lights up, and whenever you hit it on its head, it changes colors. It was only $1.
That is so cool.
It was only $1. And you know what? I babysat my niece today, and she loved the thing. So worth every penny. It was exactly 100 pennies, and it was worth all of them. So anyway, so I got some counter stools that ended up being very nice looking. Okay. 2 of them. It was a pack of 2 for $20, but I had no need for them. So they've just been sitting in my quote unquote dining area, which we don't dine in because we don't have a table. I forgot to get that.
Oh, but you're about to.
I am about to. Thanks for that, by the way.
Nathan's holding on to my kitchen table for me.
Yeah. And you know what? Because I'm such a good friend, I thought if I'm going to be able to hold, keep good care of this table, I need to make some space for it. So I have to sell some of my own belongings in order to make room for Rebecca's.
No picture of the monkey?
I do,
Web's
I do have a picture of the monkey. I have a picture of it on top of my Christmas tree because we used it as an angel this year. Anyway, so I decided I should get rid of these counter stools or bar stools, but they're like really short, you know, like 26 inches tall. But it's like probably,
and you know, because you measured for the posting.
I did. And you know what? It paid off. I didn't use the measurement photo for the posting, but she did ask, I have a 36-inch counter. Will these fit nicely? And then I was like, I have a picture for this. And so I sent her a picture of it being 26 inches. And she said, yeah, I think that'll work. So anyway, I posted them on like Friday. Got a text on like Saturday. Sold them on Monday for $80. Remember, I bought these for $20. Sold them for $80. Rebecca, that is quite the deal.
Yeah, so Nathan and I had a discussion about capital gains tax and how much he's going to own.
I'm not paying squat. I'm not paying no taxes.
Okay, so pro tip, there's a lot of people out there who are selling their house and turning a major profit, and maybe right now they're hoping to wait out the housing market. And so they've got this stack of cash that they're sitting on, and you may be asking, there's the picture of the monkey for those of you on the stream. What do I do with all this cash that I have? Well, I talked with the CPA today that informed me if you have lived in your house for 2 years or longer and you are married and not profiting more than $500,000, your money won't be taxed. If you are single and not profiting more than $200,000, your money will not be taxed. So you can hang on to that money without any consequences.
That's kind of a lot. Like, that's a high ceiling.
Yeah, very few people are going to have to pay capital gains tax on that.
That feels more of like a rich person tax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta, and like you can deduct improvements and stuff that you made to your house from that capital gain or from your gain from the house. So even if you made $501,000, you can probably deduct enough off of that of any improvements that you've made.
Honestly,
but you have to have your receipts.
Kind of embarrassing that you don't have to pay that tax.
Because you're so poor.
You're so poor.
Yeah.
Rebecca, I really feel for you. Hey, if you need any money, let me know. I can ask somebody to give you some.
Okay.
I can ask somebody to give you some.
So the other thing I'm just going to tell you, when I do stories for KMBZ, a lot of them are because I have my own personal questions about stuff. And I'm like, I should do a story on this. The other one was what's happening with the housing market right now? Like, how long are houses going to be this high priced? When will they go down? Because I would like to wait out this housing market, sell when the prices are high, maybe wait a year or two. And then when it's time for us to dive back into buying another house, then, the prices have dropped. Talked with an expert last week who said, I don't think they're ever going down.
Ever?
Yeah. He's like, houses, they tend to only increase in price. I don't know if that's true. I've also heard other places, nobody I've talked to personally, that has said, no, I bet they're going to go back down. I've heard that there is an expectation that they won't always remain this high, but this guy said, no, they're going to continue to go up.
It's because he's got a house he's trying to sell.
He's an agent.
Yeah, he's got multiple houses he's trying to sell. He's like, Rebecca, you might as well just buy one now. Don't wait, buy one now. I watched a YouTube video about inflation the other day, and I don't want to get too into details, but essentially speaking, America is doomed
because of inflation.
Because inflation is only going to get worse, and before long, we're either going to have a depression or recession or some concessions. And let's be real. Concessions aren't exactly going too hot right now. I added the concessions part. That wasn't part of it. We'll probably have a recession and then a depression. Something about we had a recession, and the only way out of a recession is to print more money. The only way out of a recession without going into depression is to print more money so a depression doesn't happen. But then the problem that caused you to go into the recession was never fixed. You've just kind of band-aided it. Something like that.
I got a 2% raise this month.
Really?
Uh-huh.
That's impressive. You know why?
Why?
Because inflation.
Yes.
That 2% means
that is
nothing.
True. Every year I get a 2% raise.
That's actually garbo, considering how much you make.
I didn't know I got a raise. My coworker, 6'4" Sam Stevie, was like, you got a raise this month. And I was like, I did? And he's like, we all did. And I was like, cool.
Neat.
But I don't think I noticed it because our health insurance went up in cost at the same time.
Yeah.
So I think I'm actually bringing home less now.
Ooh,
you know what that's called? Inflation.
Inflation, dude. I'm telling you. What is 2% of $8 an hour anyway?
I make $9 an hour.
There's no way. There's no way. Oh my gosh, I would feel so bad. There's pain. There is pain in that. Radio, kids. Not even once.
Because it's not that far away from $9 an hour.
Not even once.
It's a stone's throw away.
You know what? Whenever we got into radio, there was plenty of people that were like, you're not going to make anything in this. So it's clearly like a passion sport kind of thing. And I thought, yeah, I'm down for that. No problem. I'll marry a nurse or something. What I didn't know was how like freaking inflation in the American economy works. I should have looked more into that before picking up a career path that leads to no money.
Well, endorsements are good.
Yeah, except you and I are
going
going to...
with an endorsement right now. They just haven't responded back.
Endorsements, that one thing Christian radio doesn't have.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
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 But you get the satisfaction of knowing you're changing lives.
Right.
Just not your own.
Just not your own.
Just not your own bank account.
No, it's true. You're changing other people's bank accounts, though, because they have to support the station. So not only are you poor, you're bringing everybody down with you.
How much time do we have left?
We have 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Anything else I need to reveal that I haven't revealed yet?
You missed the prayer of Jabez endorsements. You're so right. You know what? You are so right. Maybe we could get endorsements as like a morning show on a Christian station. You just can't call them endorsements. What if we called them?
What would we call them?
Like blessings? What do we call them? Blessings? This morning show is blessed by Marvin Windows and Doors.
Well, but here, wait a second. We have the Sonic, like our family game night brought to you by.
That's true, but
Sonic, but we don't get a single $5 gift card.
$10, Rebecca.
$10.
Gosh, stop downplaying it.
We don't get a single $10 Sonic gift card.
You
Sonic gift card.
You know why? I probably shouldn't be saying this, but you know why we have to have a sponsor for a show like that, to have prizes like that?
So people don't get upset that we're giving away prizes with their money.
Anytime, it's a good thing it's the end of the podcast, because this also might be the end of my career. So it kind of lines up. It's appropriate.
Oh,
anyway, anytime
Should
a
we just
Christian
delete
radio
this?
maybe has a prize that they give, they have to specify where the prize came from, because if not, people who financially support the station will call in and they're like, "You're doing what with my money?" Which, in a sense, fair to them, but also like, do you do that to your church too?
Yes.
Yeah, people do actually, don't they?
Yeah.
Man, Christians suck.
Not why Jim has resigned from. I'm not saying that's happened where we are at currently. I'm just saying in
Right.
general, it happens.
Christians are stingy with their money, and here's the funny thing about that: it's not even their money from the start. You know?
Amen,
Can
brother.
I get an amen? Holy preaching out here.
Okay, so next week, will we be here?
Next week? Well, I don't know what the timeline is for your thing.
I move in like 15 days.
Okay, so it just depends on whether or not you can have this set up for another week.
Let's just say to be determined.
To be determined. Worst case scenario, we do it through Discord.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So next week we will be
Let's plan. Let's
Recording
plan to
a
have
podcast.
next week.
we might not.
Web just asked.
here.
Yes, Web.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good timing. Will I be at my job next week? Who knows? Depends who listens to this podcast. No, I don't think I actually said anything. If I did, I apologize. I claim ignorance and the fact that I am young and dumb. You know.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, that's the podcast. That's what's going on. That's why there's no podcast last week. That's why.
That's why our setup for streaming looks different. I almost sold the table, and then I was like
the desk.
the black table. And I was like, we might still need that. So I held on to it.
Rebecca, I'll say it right now on the podcast. Sell whatever you need to, as long as it's not my equipment. Sell whatever you need to. We'll make it work.
Okay.
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 All right. The important thing here is you being able to move and making the process easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the Reese
podca-
moving company is going to be moving us, and so making the move easy is important. Are you going to be there for the move?
The move? Shoot, what day is it?
It's on Friday.
I typically am busy on Fridays.
Uh-huh.
You think you could move it to like a... yeah, I don't know. What day? What week, I mean?
The 25th.
The 20th. Oh, shoot. You know what? I am busy a day, so no, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I already promised. I had a prior obligation.
Mm-hmm.
I already told somebody, and I can't like let them down for that. So I'm sorry. Is that okay?
Mm-mm. No, you're stuck. You're stuck helping me.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Episode 213 in the bag. That is the life update.
Yeah, not moving away. I mean, moving out of Lansing, but
Right.
still local.
Moving closer to me.
Still local.
Still live and
Moving
local.
back to our old stomping grounds.
Yep. We'll be here next week. We'll see how that goes. But until then,
Mm-hmm.
my name's Nathan.
And I'm Rebecca.
We out.
We out.
Oh, wait. Do you say that?
And you say,
I thought I say we out.
no,
Never?
never.
Really?
Really?
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
I thought for sure. Do I not say
You
we out?
don't. I was actually surprised when you said it over.
I thought we out.
I was
Yeah.
like, you stole my line there, dude, but whatever.
You say two things in a row? You know what's funny is we've had this conversation before.
Web. We've had this conversation.
I can't
a
believe you
lot.
say two things in a row.
So
at the end
what
of the
was this
podcast.
episode 213?
213.
And you just questioned how we end the podcast
Yeah.
when we've ended it 213 times at least.
At least, yeah. Well, in my defense, prior to this, we had only ended it 212 times. All right. Bye, Webb. Bye, Ben. Thanks for watching. Richard, if you are here, bye. And Owen, if you haven't fallen asleep yet. Thanks for saying hi. Love you guys. Bye. Ta-ta for now.